It's your favorite girl, April Watts, and it is all about the Richkat Lifestyle inside of the Richkat Mobile Cigar Lounge. Somebody that is deep and heavy into the Richkat Lifestyle is my man, Jay George. What up, Jay?
Hey, what's going on, April? Great to see you again.
Great to see you, too. We look like a singing group. We got the whole earth tone tan thing going on.
You know, they say great minds think alike.
I like that. I like you already. So how did you come to be a part of the Richkat Lifestyle?
So I think me becoming a part of the Richkat Lifestyle was a destiny for me. I didn't grow up in the DC area. I'm originally from the Virgin Islands. But I moved here when I was 10. And, you know, as a youth, my grandfather and his friends would smoke cigars on the veranda. So I've been around cigars from birth.
So it's always been a part of your lifestyle.
It's always been a part of my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I started smoking cigars, I want to say, in 1997.
Okay, that's a pretty long time ago.
It's a pretty long time. And what you find is that in the cigar lifestyle, you always run around, you'll meet like-minded people.
Mm-hmm.
And so Waleed knows people that I know people that he know, and our paths crossed, and it was meant to be.
It just kind of happened organically. Yeah.
You know, we're all together, and was like, oh yeah, that's Jay. I was like, oh okay, Doc, yeah, Doc Jay, and then you know, there's 2 degrees of separation.
Right.
So everybody was like, yeah, all right, yeah, we're all the same. We like cigars, we like nice cars, we like nice clothes. You know, I separate myself a little bit more because I'm deeper and heavier into the watch thing.
Okay.
But, you know, we all have a liking of something of the same. You know, we all like to cook, we like to grill year round. I like to cook in the kitchen.
Okay.
Go to restaurants, and if I go to a nice restaurant, I was like, okay, well, maybe I can recreate that at home.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the dishes I'm successful with, some I'm not.
Okay. And I know you make some good Caribbean food, right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite Caribbean dish to make?
So today, for the event, I made some brown stew chicken.
Where is it? Hold up.
The brown stew chicken is in the house with the coconut rice and peas.
I'm gonna need some of that before I leave.
You got it. I'm gonna make sure that there's more than enough left back just for you.
All right, because I like to eat. Now, what are you smoking on right there?
Today, I am smoking one of the Richkat's finest. It's Torpedo box press. A lot of people don't understand that, you know, most cigars are hand rolled, but the box press is where it essentially is what it says, a box press. You get the fillers, you take the fillers, when you put it in, it forms in a box shape. So when it's bound, it comes in somewhat of a square. But the intricate part of the torpedo box press is that it comes to a point.
Right.
You know, so you think, oh well, it's a box press. How did they make it a point? So when they finish, they finish the top in a torpedo fashion. So you know, there are all different types of cigars, Gustos, Churchills, but I want to say this box press torpedo is a real good smoke. You know, it comes to a smaller tip, but it has great airflow starting from the bottom.
I was gonna ask, with the look of it, or with the box press versus the hand rolled, is it more of a cosmetic difference, or is it really a difference in the experience when you smoke it?
So yeah, all cigars have a different draw. You know, so the box press, even though you would think that it's pressed together, it's bound tight, but the box press is pressed, but it has a full opening to get a good airflow through the tip.
Okay, so I want to take it back to you being from the Caribbean.
Yes.
We're gonna get to a little bit of pop culture, because I love music, and right now what's really, really hot, we are not happy that we are in the COVID-19 situation.
That's true.
But some great things have come from it, and one of those things is the versus battles.
Yes.
Erykah Badu and Jill Scott had like an amazing, honestly, I didn't think anything could top that, but last night, Beanie Man versus Bounty Killer was freaking ridiculous. You're from the Caribbean. I know you watched it.
Yo, the killer is my boy.
The killer is your boy?
The killer.
Okay.
The gully god. Let's call him what he calls himself. He's
the gully god.
The warlord.
Uh-oh.
So, you know, Beanie Man has done himself, I'm the king of the dance hall. But last night, Bounty Killer had to tell him, look, the Gully God is here. It's a war session, and we may be friends, but I'm here to take your from up here.
Oh, we get the whole Caribbean accent and everything. I'm so loving it. Can I tell you, I didn't understand a word they were saying, but I enjoyed it because for me, music is more about a feeling. It's an energy. It's a vibe, and I've always loved dance hall music and reggae music, even when I don't know what's going on, because I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can feel it, and honestly, I can't say either one of them won, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Bounty Killer is definitely the man with the voice. Like he's the warlord.
Yeah.
Like you said, like his voice is like there is a speaker in the back of his throat just coming out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Beanie Man has his swagger is freaking ridiculous. So I appreciated two different things about them. Like Beanie got the style. Bounty Killer just coming at you raw.
So I think that, here's something that you have to understand with the history behind dancehall. Dancehall is not just a thing of the clash of music.
Okay.
Everything is a clash. You have to have showmanship.
Right.
So when you start talking about the dancehall queens, and you have these women coming in all these wild outfits, their hair is done to the top of the sky.
Yes.
And, the entertainers as well. The entertainers have their following, and they have to feel the energy of the crowd.
Yes.
So what you're getting is a show and a clash at the same time. You're gonna have antics, but you're gonna get the essence of this is where I'm from, this is what I represent, and at the end of the night, we'll walk off, we'll shake hands. But when we're on the stage,
it's a war.
It's a war.
It's a battle.
Definitely a battle.
But what I loved about it was a battle, but you could still feel the love. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You could still feel the love. And the most comical part was when the police came up in there. And he was like, now, I didn't understand that part. He was like, I don't know what the police came up in here for, but...
So Beanie Man being the showman that he was like, okay, I'll quell this storm. Bounty said, you know what? I'm not going to entertain this. I'm going to follow the law. I'm going to exit stage left.
Right.
Until I make sure that I'm not going to have any problems going to jail tonight.
Right.
But that was definitely, a clash of clash.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, these guys have been singing and entertaining audiences for years on years.
Yes.
Years on years, and you had special music where the music said Bounty's name or it said Beanie's name.
Mm-hmm.
Those were called dub plates. Those are specials. They'll make a special record for a sound.
Okay.
The sound is pretty much the person that's playing the music. So he made sure that he made special dubs just to go against Beanie that night, and I think that right there was really what set the tone.
Okay.
It wasn't just, okay, we're gonna play some of my greatest hits, we're gonna sing, we're gonna clash, but I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna give you the essence of dancehall. Essence of dancehall is the clash.
Did you smoke a cigar when you watched that versus?
Yes, I did.
What did you smoke when you watched that versus? Because that was a turn up.
So, when I smoked a Trinidad. So the Trinidads are my favorite cigar.
Why?
There's a history behind Trinidad. Trinidad was released to host Cuba in 1995. Trinidads were only rolled for Castro.
Oh.
So none of the population outside of Cuba, only Castro had Trinidad.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 95, they made a decision to release the Trinidads out to the masses. And it's just, it is always a great smoke. I've had friends, they smoke the Drone, they smoke the Ashtons, they smoke all types of different cigars. But they know when they come to my house, I have a special stash because it's hard to come by from time to time.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And they be like, "Hey, where's the Trinidad stash?"
Right. We want the good stuff.
Everybody got good. So we know they know when we go to Jay house, we know one thing for certain: we have good food, we have good drinks, and I know he has a Trinidad stash, so I'm gonna be able to have a good Trinidad tonight.
So I look at not just what's on the surface. I try to dig into the psychology of things or whatever. So do you like the Trinidad just because it's such this great smoke, or do you also like it because of the story behind it? And there's a little bit of rebel in you that wants what the king had, that wants what the dictator had, that wants what the leader of a nation had. Come on and let's get real, Jay. Break it down.
You actually hit the nail on the head. I'm always, so coming from the islands, I mean, most islands are small. We moved to the States. When I got here when I was 10.
You're 10,
when I was 10 years old. And, you know, I lived in New York for some time. I lived here in D.C. where, you know, I reside now. But that was my thing. I've always been one of a small few. So when my friends and we sit down and we talk, they go like, you know, you're one of us, but you have a difference. You have something like, you know, everybody's, or, you know, they're African or whatever place they're from. It was like, of our friends, he was like, we wish we could be like you because you have something that you can literally call your own. I could go home, touch the sand, hold it in my hand, this is my sand. So smoking the Trinidad and understanding the history behind the Trinidad, yes, that does make it even more enjoyable.
That's what I thought. So let's talk about your career, because you seem to have a lively personality. You have an interesting background. Like when I look at you, I see color. You know what I'm saying? Like you're very colorful. But you do IT, which I would think, because, and I have no experience in IT, I would think that IT is the opposite of color.
So, yes, it is.
How do you balance those things?
Well, okay. So, at an early age in the Caribbean, clothing was something where for lack of a better term, there's haves and have-nots.
Yes.
I come from a situation where there are haves. That being said, you go to the tailor. My uncles, my grandfather, these were guys that I watched them dress, and I wanted to be like them. You know, their pants were always perfect, their ties, their shirt. It may not have been a lot, but you always made a statement. And for me, that left an impression upon me that I carry with me to this day, even with my kids. You know, I was like, hey, you will always have a clean pair of shoes, your shirt will be pressed, your pants will be pressed as well. I took it to the next level.
Because you extra.
Well,
you gotta be extra. You gotta be the best. Come on, Jay.
I mean, yeah. I like Italian linen sweaters. You know, the finer things in life. But I think for me, when I walk in a room, I want people to know that yes, I am in the room. And it's not you have to hear my voice. You can feel my presence.
I get it.
And my presence is when you see me, like, wow, who's that guy? You know, I walk past the lady, oh, he smells nice. What cologne does he have? You know, things that men don't have as much as women have when it comes to like a fashion standpoint. We do have things that we can do, but when a man comes in the room, he's smelling nice, women are gonna say, he looks good, and he smells even better. Who is he? He doesn't have to say a word.
With men, I think, because I'm a fashion person too, it's the understated man sometimes makes the biggest statement. Like Jay-Z says, I don't have the bright watch, I got the right watch. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and as a watch collector, I'm sure that you get that. So it's not necessarily like with the man, I'm not looking at him being so loud or flashy, but it's more of, I'm gonna look you from head to toe and be like, oh, look at the stitching on that cable knit sweater. Look at the cut of the shoe. Look at how his pants fit. Or it's the little things with a man, and I appreciate that because it's not just so bam in your face.
Yeah.
Women are the peacocks. Like we get to strut and fan our feathers around with the makeup, but fellas, it's a little bit of a more than meets the eye type of situation. You feel me?
Definitely. Like you said, you know, I don't like you said, I don't have the bright watch, I have the right watch.
Right.
You know, I started collecting watches when I was, I want to say, 27 years old. My first watch was a Hamilton limited edition chronograph.
Okay.
I had a good friend of mine. We were in business school together at Howard, and he was on Wall Street. He was killing the game. making a lot of moves. He had access to a lot of different things. He saw that watch, and he was like, "Yeah, that's a nice watch, Jay." He said, "I'm gonna get that." I said, "No, you're not." He's like, "How much you want to bet?" I work on Wall Street. I said, "Okay." 6 months go by. You know, he travels back and forth between New York and DC. We see each other. And he came to me. He said, "Jay, where did you get that watch?" And I said, "Why?" He said, "I can't find it." I said, "You're not." I said, "I got one of the 1,000 that they were made. I have a number on that watch." And he was like, "Only you." He said, "Only you." He said, "Champagne's on you tonight."
Can I tell you what I love about this though? Everybody that I've been speaking to so far, Black, successful, upwardly mobile, and you know, less about what you have. And your story about the watch and about how it's rare and all that stuff. What I love most about it is not about the actual watch that you were able to get, but the fact that you were able to get it and why you were able to get it, because you did the work and you set the goal. Like, that's what's so attractive about everybody that is a part of this Richkat lifestyle. What advice would you give to someone younger than yourself, like to that person that was you right now at Howard University, about striving and about reaching goals and about what this lifestyle is all about?
So one thing I will say, with going to Howard, it prepared me for the business world. And, you know, classes were a little bit harder. I mean, I've had guys that have worked with me that went to GW, that went to, you know, Ohio State, and they come in and they're like, well, you know, the guy at GW, he said, you know, I took the class at Howard. And he said, "How did you graduate?" I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He was like, "I went through my classes at GW." He was like, I really had to work to get it. So, I mean, it prepared us to have to be not just good, but we have to take it to the next level.
Great.
We have to understand that, you know what, yes, you're coming from a small Black school, you're a Black man, you got to be able to do what they can do and do it in half the time and twice as better. So, understanding that, just understand that you cannot give and take any wooden nickels from anybody. When someone tells you no, you sit back and you reflect on that no and say, okay, what can I do to make that no a yes? In any engagement that I go into, because I'm a consultant, my first thing is to hear the client out. You know, and it's a lot of different dynamics in every client. There are clients that want this super fast network or this super fast system, but their budget doesn't play. They have all these other projects. They want everything crammed into this budget that they have. I take a step back and I say, okay, give me your top 3. Let's work on your top 3 that you have right now. From that top 3, we'll address those top 3. Then we'll come back and we will revisit on next year's budget. So we're going to get everything that you want done, but we're going to get it done at a different pace. But everything will be done.
Something more realistic.
Definitely, because a lot of people have very unrealistic dreams.
So you help manage expectations.
Very much.
Okay, so we know that your favorite cigar is a Trinidad, but because cigars have been a part of your life since childhood, I would think that you have a pretty expansive palate, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so when you strike a big business deal and you want that celebratory cigar, which one is it?
So, yes, in most instances, it will be a Trinidad, but I go for the Patron 64.
Okay, all right. So, I don't know your relationship situation, but when you're having romantic time with that special person, and you're just having a great relaxation, romance situation, what are you smoking and what are you sipping on?
So, it depends on which.
Okay.
So, not every woman can handle the robustness of a full body cigar. That's a Maduro cigar, as they're called. They're the darker textured cigars. The naturals are the lighter. So, if they're not privy to the cigar lifestyle, or if they are, I'll have a full body. But if they're not, I'll even expose them when they're not to a more milder Romeo and Juliet.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
And what are you sipping on?
So, for the most part, I'm an island guy. I like rum.
Okay, alrighty.
Cruzan rum is the best rum in the world. Been up to the Virgin Islands. We've been making rum for a very long time.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, single barrel.
Okay.
Cruzan single barrel. If I'm not drinking Cruzan single barrel, Basil Hayden is another go-to.
I just tasted that for the first time last night.
How did you like it?
And I loved it.
Yeah.
I love Basil Hayden.
Yeah, it's very smooth on the palate. It goes down. There's some more bourbons that have more of a spice or a bite to it. You feel it on the back of your tongue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but Basil Hayden is very, very smooth. Nice. I wouldn't say it's an entry-level bourbon, but it's definitely a great drink to have, even with or without a cigar.
My favorite, like I'm learning, like I'm not a big drinker, but I like what I like.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned that I'm a whiskey girl. I like it so much that I drink it neat because I really want to taste it. I don't want any ice, definitely don't want to mix it with anything. And my favorite right now is Bullet Rye, yes. Like it's something, like I just love the taste, the aftertaste, just the way it like burns a little bit when you sip. I love everything about it.
So here's a trick I want you to try the next time you're having bourbon. Try a bourbon. Add a splash of water. The water will open up the bouquet of the bourbon.
Okay.
And you will be like, wow.
All right.
It's not
I'm gonna do that. A splash.
Splash of water opens up the bouquet. Great.
Just learned something. You have an interesting life motto. What is your motto?
May I be safe. May I be happy. May I be well. May I live my life with ease. That is a mantra that I have in my bathroom, and I say it to myself every morning before I leave out the door.
Okay.
You know, because nobody wants to lead a stressful life.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to have a life where you're happy, you're well. You know, I don't want any dis-ease.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you thank God every morning when I wake up. The first thing I do before I even get out of bed, I thank God for waking me up another day, and then I let my feet hit the ground.
And I've already pulled a whole lot of wisdom out of you, but I'm going to ask for one more. Before we let you go, give me one life hack.
Life hack. Oh man, it's hard. A life hack. I guess a good life hack I can give you when it comes to cooking. Cooking is not hard. Cooking is what you're making. People think that because a dish is extravagant, has a lot of flavor.
Mm-hmm.
What you don't understand is that when you cook with love. That love will go into your food, and your food will taste even better.